In this lesson, we'll begin creating some of the geometric details of this building. Alright, so in the previous lesson we worked on creating basically these box shapes that are going to end up being our factory. Now I went ahead and created one more smaller box here. My idea is that this is all going to be one connected building, and this maybe right here is going to be sort of the entryway. Maybe there's a door right here, and this is like the office. So I've also worked a little bit more on our sidewalk, and you know, it may look like I've done a lot here, but really all I've done is I've come in and spaced out some little lines working from left to right here at an angle, and I've spaced them out fairly evenly along the sidewalk to create sort of that segmented feel. Now, I've also come in here and erased away a portion of it, and my thought process is that this is going to be the entryway. Maybe the employees pull in here and there's some parking here, and maybe this is more of the shipping type side of the factory. Maybe there's some bay doors here, and this is where maybe semis will pull in or back into the factory and load up for their deliveries. So let's go ahead and get started here. Now, what I'd like to do is go ahead and create some of the more geometric details of this building. Some details like windows and doors and things like that. So I tell you, the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and make sure that we connect this building all up. So I want to go ahead and get rid of this line right here. I am going to erase that. And you can see here I'm working on our buildings layer. So I'm going to come in here and just grab my eraser tool. We're going to erase right down that line, just like so. I want this to feel like it's connected, so we're not going to keep that line at all. Get rid of that one little pixel right there, and that's going to make this seem more like one massive body here for our building. Now, in doing that, we freed up this side right here for whatever details related to the shipment of these products, whatever products this factory produces, and we can focus on those details here in a minute. But what I'd like to focus on right now is maybe some windows for this side. Now, as you can imagine, a window is nothing more than a simple square or a rectangle in this isometric projection. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and take that just a step further. Let's go ahead and maybe say that we want to create 4 columns of windows here. Maybe 2 are over the office and 2 that are over here, and they're taller. But maybe these columns of windows are recessed, meaning that maybe there's a concave area here that we're going to carve out of our basic block for the building, and we're going to inset these windows into that concave area. So I tell you what, let's just go ahead and begin by using some of our brushes here. We're going to go ahead and maybe grab a 40 brick brush, see how wide that is. That looks like about the right size. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to drag that into position. And I may need to add a few bricks to that to get exactly where I want to go, because I want this line to span the width of the entire bottom of the windows here. And it's not quite long enough. So I tell you what, I'm going to zoom in kind of close here. And let's go ahead and maybe bump that over one where these 2 pixels are right over each other. And we'll go ahead and deselect that. And at this point, we'll go ahead and fill in the rest of this line here. I'm going to go ahead and grab my 1 pixel brush. Whoops, let's go ahead and try that again. We'll grab the 1 pixel brush here. Alright. And we'll go ahead and fill in the rest of this line. Now I'm going to leave about 3 columns of pixels empty here, because that's what we had down here. We had 3 columns of pixels. So now that we've got that here, we can go ahead and duplicate this line. Let's go ahead and grab that again here. And we'll make a copy and drag that up. And I'm going to drop that right about here for right now. Now that's going to be the entire width of 2 of these columns of windows. So what we need to do is we need to erase away sort of the center of these windows. But before we do that, I tell you what, let's go ahead and just zoom in here, because it looks like maybe our mask might be interfering. It looks like it's covering just a little bit of this line. So if we come back over here, take a look at our mask, and let's go ahead and hit our X key to switch our foreground and background colors, and we'll reveal that single pixel there. So you want to be real careful if you're using masking, especially early on, that you make sure that it's not covering up any pixels that you don't want it to cover. So eventually we'll go ahead and commit to those masks, and we'll flatten those down. But for right now, let's just leave them where they're at. So I'm going to come in now, and what we want to do here is we want to find the center of these. So we've got another little masking issue there. I'm going to go ahead and draw a line down over here. And we've got another little masking issue here. So let's go ahead and handle that. So we'll come over here, and now typically I wouldn't do this if we were going to keep these lines, but all I'm trying to do is find the center of this square. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and make a new layer so we can just delete this layer. I'm going to do a Control-Shift-N, and we'll just make a new layer here. I want to go ahead and click on this outermost pixel here, hold shift and click on this outermost down here. It's going to connect those two corners, and I'm going to do the same thing up top here. Just like so. Now, let me show you here. We've got this on a separate layer, so we're not going to keep this layer. This is just simply a guide to help find the center of this, this square we've just drawn. Now, if we look here, we've got, it looks like there is 2 pixels here that are the effective center. Now, if you remember, we want to actually erase 3 pixels out. So let's just draw a line straight up here. Make sure we're on the correct layer. Let's go ahead and draw it up here. I'm going to draw a line straight up here. And we'll draw one straight down here. And let's go ahead and draw one here and here. Now we're going to end up erasing these lines, but let's go ahead and take a look. Well, I tell you what, we may not be able to erase 3 pixels or 3 columns of bricks here from the center. We may just be able to erase 2. So let's go ahead and grab our eraser tool. I'm going to increase the size on that just a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and just erase away those 2 bricks right there. And we're going to erase away this line we just drew as well. And we'll erase away the same 2 bricks up top. And I'm going to come in and we're going to add a line right here. And right here. Now we've got 2 columns that are the same width, and we can go ahead and get rid of this layer that we used for a guide here. So let's go ahead and delete that. And we can fix our masking issue as well. Just like so. And okay, now we've created sort of the width of these 2 concave areas, and what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and bring these concave areas all the way down to the ground. So let's go ahead and grab this area right here, and let's go ahead and just drag that all the way down. Now let's leave it up just a little bit here. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill in these lines, and we're just going to kind of establish sort of exactly where we want, how deep we want this to be. We'll go ahead and come in here and draw this line all the way down. And I tell you what, let's draw this one all the way down as well. Now, I'm going to move this up just a little bit more, create a little more depth inside this concave area. We'll go ahead and nudge that up one more time. And I tell you what, let's go ahead and erase away just a little bit of this. Let's go ahead and erase away maybe these 2 bricks right here. Now, I'm going to come in at this point, and we're going to draw in this little piece right here. Now, it looks like we may need to come up 1 additional brick here. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and let's just move this out of the way completely. We're going to move this up a little bit further. And we'll deselect that. And let's go ahead and draw 1 more brick right there. And you know, I'm going to reapproach the way I've drawn those 2 bricks. Let's go ahead and delete those here. Let's go and start this little line over again. We're going to come off of this brick right here. And then to here. How about that? That'll work well. So we'll come in here, grab this again, and swing this down into position. Just like so. Now we've created sort of a guide for the next line in this recessed area. So let's come in here now and just draw that line on up. Connecting it right there. We'll fix these masking issues here in a little while. And now what we can do is we can come in and we can erase this line right here. Just like so. Now we've created this recession in the building, and what I'd like to do is probably come over and duplicate that over here. And I tell you what, that's going to actually be super easy. So I tell you what, let's just go ahead and grab our eraser tool and let's erase away this down here. We've already got a guide here for where this recessed area is going to be placed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab my lasso tool. I'm going to come over here. We're going to lasso this entire area that we've just drawn. And I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of that. And we're going to drop it right over here. Just like so. Let me go ahead and deselect that. So you can see what we've done here is we've created the shape once, and then we've duplicated it and reused it here right next to it. So that's a really great workflow to keep in mind. If you have repeating elements anywhere on your building, there's no reason to draw those elements twice. In fact, for these same two areas, we could actually probably make copies of both of these and drag them over here, and with a few small modifications in height, we could format them to fit this area over the office portion of this building. So at this point, what I'd probably do is I'm probably going to come in here inside these recessed areas and just use some simple lines, and we're going to draw in some square windows with maybe some horizontal and vertical divisions in them. And then we'll tile those through here, and that'll be a pattern that we can repeat in each one of these four columns on this side of the building. So in this lesson, we have learned how to create a recession in our building for windows. In the next lesson, we're going to pick up and we're going to continue working on some of these more geometric details, and we're going to focus over here on the shipping side of the building. And maybe we're going to construct some garage doors and a platform that the trucks can pull up to.